Hello and welcome to Stardew Valley in Minecraft, a new series where I build the world of Stardew Valley in Minecraft, one area at a time. Last episode we made the beach, and as you can see I'm standing in front of Elliot's house. Now this week, however, we're gonna go a little bit more north. We're gonna continue with the south part of the village. Now the village in Stardew Valley is quite big. It has lots of different houses, some shops, and of course north of the village the community center. To make sure that all of the stuff can happen over time, I'm not going to do all of it in one single episode, so I'm going to try and focus on the south part of the village. And as you can see, currently this river is massive. This is not close to how the river looks in Stardew Valley, so I'm going to have to do some terraforming. And then I'm going to take this river slightly around this forest here and do some more terraforming. And then we're gonna build the first few houses. First off, I will build the Mayor Lewis's house. Then, after that, I will go ahead and build Willow Lane, the second and the first one, where in Willow Lane 2 we have Emily and Haley, and in Willow Lane 1 we have Jody, Kent, Sam, and Vincent. For us to be able to get to the town, we of course need a small little bridge, and we're gonna also be building a bridge to the east part, where we're in the future going to be building the blacksmith and the museum. Now, of course, this is quite a big project. Mostly it's gonna involve some terraforming. Luckily, not as much as last time, because we had to do a lot of terraforming underwater. So, as our first step today, let's go ahead and terraform this area. While you're watching me terraform this, I want to thank you all for your support on my previous video. I loved seeing all of those positive comments. It has given me a lot of motivation to continue with this series. And it has also offered me the opportunity to become a YouTube partner. So now I have added a simple membership that you can find on my channel. If you would like to become a member, go ahead and check it out for yourself. For now, there are some perks like having early access to some of my videos. In the future, I might do member-only videos. Once again, I want to thank you for all of your support. And there we go. It's a little bit of terraforming. It's a lot more flat and perfect for building. As you can see, I also dug in where the road is going to be. And we've already got one edge of the river done. Now I think it's time that we continue this terraforming and finish the shape of the river all the way. Except of course for the part further north, because there is a lot more terraforming to do in the future. Oh man, making rivers is quite the annoying process, especially putting in the water afterwards. But oh man, I'm glad that that part is over. I think this is going to be the most annoying part of the build so far. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of a combination of mud, some spruce, and the brown wool. The only thing that is missing is some vegetation at the bottom. I will have to come in later here with a bunch of bone meal and put some plants down here. I am noticing something here though, let me fix that. Now that we have got these beautiful bridges in, we can have another overview as to how the river looks, and that river looks so much better this way. Just imagine this river going all the way up, and then in the lake we'll probably add a bit more depth than we have currently in this river. Now these bridges are very simple. I decided to go with a pretty straightforward design here and put a bunch of lampposts around. I know that Stardew Valley doesn't really have the lampposts around the bridges, but it does give a lot of lighting that we are kind of going to need. And yeah, we really do need those lights to keep everything spawn proof. I am of course also using some other methods like the lichen and the sea pickles, and we'll probably use a combination of all kinds of light just to make it so that nothing spawns, but we still get the highlights on the light parts that we want. Now, the next part, I think the first house that we're going to build today is going to be Willy's house. And I think instead of building a bunch of vegetations and the roads, I'm going to dive straight into the first house. Now before we actually build it, let me go ahead and show you what the color palette is for this build. Now to give you a simple idea of what I'm gonna do, we have of course the roof. I think this is the closest to the color of the roof that we have. But to give it a little bit of variation, I'm going to add both the spruce and the deep slate to give a sense of shadow and lightfall on this. And this is something I would like to get your feedback on once I've built it, to see how it actually turns out, because I'm not quite sure. But here we go. This is the blue, of course, that's in the building, and then the rest is going to be a combination of all kinds of white blocks. So yeah, there you have it. That's going to be the color palette. So let's go ahead and build it. And welcome back. As you can see, there we go, we've got the exterior done, and I also worked a little bit already on the interior, as you can see, a little sneak peek behind me. Now, of course, this is very barren, and we will have to add a few trees and the fences, and obviously a car, and some foliage, of course, as well. Now, with the car, I have never really built cars before, so this is going to be the very first car that I ever built. So I am both excited and scared to hopefully make it look good. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. And here we have a quest board as well. In Stardew Valley, there is a quest board here where you can pick up a quest that goes for like a week or something like that. You then have to do a task where you either collect a bunch of resources or you have to deliver it to the Pierre's General Store. And then you get like little tickets. Those tickets are then redeemed over here in Willy's house. However, I'm not quite sure what I would give as a task and what I would give as a reward in Minecraft, so maybe you guys have an idea, so sure, let me know if you have any. And here, of course, is what I did for the interior. The big challenge with the interiors in Stardew Valley, translating them into Minecraft, is the size and the layout. And so I have given an interpretation of the windows, and I try to use a double layer of the walls here, so I could give the interior their own texture. And honestly, I really like that. And then, of course, I try to add all of the things that you can see inside of the house. Now, of course, there is also a little bedroom in Willy's house. And so if we go up here, you can have the little bedroom, and we have a nice big couch under an open fire. And of course, on the roof, we added a chimney. Then, of course, the mayor has his car right next to his house. Not entirely sure why it is positioned there in the game, because from here, getting to the road is kind of illogical and makes not really any sense. But there it is. And then, of course, here we have the backyard fence and a tree. Now, I do want to go around the entire area later to add a bunch of grass and some flowers, but for now, I'm going to leave it a little bit more barren. I added a few bushes and already some wildflowers, and of course some lichen to keep it all spawn-proof. And in the future, this will of course be expanded with the area where Pam lives and with George's house. To the left of the mayor's house, we have the start of the road, but we also have a small graveyard. And then a little further down, next to the water, we have the entrance to the sewers. Both of these I think I should go ahead and add next, so that we have a little bit in between the house and the next few houses. Now for this one, I don't want to go ahead and do another time lapse, so we're just going to go ahead and do a little time skip to where this is done. So I'll meet you here in a few seconds when it's all done. Hello and welcome back. Here we go, we've got a little graveyard, and if we zoom out, we've got quite a bit more. I added a couple of custom trees. I did go around and add a bit of bone meal to everything, and here we go, we got a little bench with a few candles. And then, of course, a few custom trees with especially this cherry tree I really like. Now, what's especially really nice about this cherry tree is that the falling leaves of the cherry tree sort of fall onto the path that we're walking on. That's something that I really enjoy. Now, I also added this path already with a few lamps here or there. And then, of course, also some lichen on the path because it blends in very nicely. And then here we have a little circle of flowers that I really enjoyed. And then closer to the water, we've got ourselves the sewer entrance. Now this currently is closed, but I added a little piston down here. If we really quickly open this, I added a piston here that can extend, or retract in this case, to open up the sewers, because there is going to be some way to unlock the sewers in the bundles. Now, to finish off this area for today, I want to build 2 more buildings. And if we zoom out a little bit to look at the plan here, then we have, of course, here the main square of Pelican Town. And then above these benches, there is going to be the inn. We won't be building those things for today. However, first and second Willow Lane, those 2 buildings that go over here, that is definitely on the plan. So let's go ahead and build both of them in a nice long time lapse. And then after the time lapse, I will also have done all the interiors so we can showcase all of that to you. So one last time this episode, let's roll the time lapse. And there we go. Wow, that was a lot of work, especially the interiors. And I must say, the interiors are quite the challenge, but I am very much enjoying it, and I think I am quite happy with the result. Previously, I haven't done too many interiors, so don't judge it too harshly. But I think I really like especially the double wall design that I came up with. So we have the exterior wall, and it also leaves a lot of detail to be added to the windows by adding a second layer where I put the glass in there. And I really like it. Then when you go inside of the building, you can change the color of the walls and just look at how this feels when you enter this building. It is absolutely amazing. I love it so much. And then of course you come around to the kitchen over here. I try to keep the layout roughly similar to how it is done in Stardew, but obviously the layout doesn't really match well with the size of the building, and so I try to keep it inside of the building as much as possible, or change the building sizes a little bit. And then of course I also utilized having multiple floors. So as you can see, we have the kitchen, and then we have Alex's bedroom with his computer, the drum kit, and the piano, or the keyboard I must say. And then when you go upstairs, we have the bedrooms for the little kids. And these are supposed to be like toy rockets. We got like a little ball, some plushies on the floor. And here is the other bedroom. I am so happy with these interiors. Now the color of this house is quite a bit tricky. It took me a little bit to figure out the exact color for this, and I'm not exactly sure if I like it completely, but I think it is close enough to the Stardew Valley colors that I am going to keep it. And obviously to the left of this house is where some of the hills will start popping up. This is something that I will look in adding further down the line, because right now I am not entirely sure how these hills are going to look or how they're going to connect to the other side, like where the farm exactly is going to be. Because if you look at the map layout, then the farm is going to be over here in this direction somewhere. So I'm not exactly sure how far there it's going to be. Maybe it's going to line up pretty closely to these buildings, just to keep the distance between the farm and the rest of the town relatively close. Now, the second building, of course, you saw the exterior being built, but you haven't seen the interior yet. So let's go ahead and go inside. This is my bin design that we have as well. Then we go inside, and there we have it. We have some benches over here. We've got the computer. We've got some stairs going up. I had to find a way to make it possible to get to the second layer. And the other small challenge that I had with this building, it's split up in 2 sections. So we have the section on the left and the section on the right. I decided to add a little section that goes out to the side, and it's especially nice for some of the windows that I added. And then of course on the interior I decided to add ice as the wall texture here, which I think is the perfect color of blue here, and it also just has a small bit of detail where it isn't just a plain color. Then here we have Emily's sewing station. Obviously that's a sewing station, and we have some of the colors over here that is supposed to be all of the sewing materials. And so I made it nice and colorful with some plants next to the window, which I love this little corner here. And then over here we have the kitchen. And this was mostly what I was trying to fit in the building. I tried to keep this nice, open and big, but then the kitchen needed a little bit more space, so I added that extra bit outside here just so I could fit the kitchen. And for the kitchens, I am trying to keep somewhat of the same design throughout all of them. We've got the fridge and the sink and the oven and all that stuff. We got some cupboards. Then here I am using the shelves to actually put some of the items in. The white and the blue, I'm seeing like sauces or maybe glasses, and then we have the bowls for like plates. Then of course here we have a cozy fireplace, which in some of the buildings it doesn't even have an actual chimney, but I've added them wherever I added one of these fireplaces. And then of course we have a little TV here, and then we have another stairs up to Emily's room, which is quite nice and big. Before I forget, I also added a small detail of an actual parrot in Emily's room. Now, I completely forgot recording moving him here. That would have been nice to see, but oh well, he's here now, successfully. And then when we look at Haley's room, we have a lot more pink, and this is supposed to be kind of like a makeup stand. We have like the mirror all the way around you. This has been a very fun challenge to try and make these fit in size, add the little interiors, but also add quite a bit of detail. And I cannot wait to do the rest of the town. Of course, it's going to be quite a bit of work. And the one thing that I'm not quite sure is how the river and the road are going to connect to Marnie's farm. I am thinking of just doing a hard cut from here directly left so that Marnie's farm just nicely fits in there. But I'm not 100% sure yet. Maybe it is going to be a bit more of a curve, or maybe it is slightly lower. I'm not 100% sure yet. So do let me know what you think about that. Next up, I am going to continue north from here. We're going to do the central square of town, and we're going to do Pierre's store. We're going to do the clinic. We're going to do Pierre's store. We're also going to do George's house, and we're going to even make Pam's camper. So yeah, that's all what we're looking at for next week. If you like this episode, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next episode. And let me know in the comments which one of these houses is your absolute favorite. And while you're thinking about that, I am going to be sitting here at the sewing kit, just sewing away. Not sure if you saw this coming. I'll leave myself out.